Lucy had me down. Now I'm back up, yeah, back up, had me down. Now I'm back up.
Hold on, HD. I'm going to take over real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this amazing presentation and overview we're about to have. And I am so blessed and grateful to be introducing somebody that we have become so close through the grace of God, because we decided to join a company that was built on God's principles. And when you put God first, he shows up and he shows off, and he aligns you. He aligns you with the people that should be in your circle. You know, when you create a tribe to conquer, you all you really need is a handful of people on the same mission, the same vision, to do what God needs you to do. And you know, in biblical terms, sometimes it was just one person, sometimes it was two, sometimes it was three or four. But when God tells you got to do something, you got to do something. So I'm going to keep moving with this and say, listen, my pleasure, my guy was on his podcast, you know, and it would, we shook the world that day. But he's been through so much in life. He's been through ups and downs. The devil had him shackled by the ankles, and he fought through it, chisel by chisel, every day with faith. Just kept attacking those chains with the word of God, his gospel, and his music, right? And just listening and having faith. And he even at one point was confused, like, God, what am I going to do now? What is my next step? After 20 years of marriage, giving it all, 1,000%, this is what happened to me. What every single man dreads happened to HD. And instead of looking down to pick up stones to throw, he looked up and said, I understand the mission. He didn't look down for stones to throw. He looked up and said, I understand the mission. And God said, listen, move forward. Move forward. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with this first step you're going to take right now, HD. And he took that step, that leap of faith. Moving forward, he found VYB. VYB knocked on his door. A company built on God's principles, and God has a mission for him. He was born and created with a purpose by the Creator. And HD said, God, I'm going to go work. And God said, nah, I need you to help me build this empire while you spreading the gospel. So it's my pleasure to introduce the mouth from the South, from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, my boy, HD. HD, it's all you, brother man.
Thank you, man. And that means the world to me. I remember when I first got a chance to be able to talk to Johnny, and we were introduced by Romy Rome, my best friend out of, he's originally from Philly. And man, Jerome was with me, and he's seen me from when literally God took me to the top in the mortgage industry, man. There's a time in which, man, we were making more money in a month than most people literally make in 6, man. Um, and then he got a chance to see me, man, 3 years ago when I lost everything, my wife, my kids, my car, my house. I mean, and he had to talk me off the ledge. And there are 6 times where I actually tried to just delete myself. And this brother had my back, cried with me, held me, spoke the word of God into me, prayed with me. And I'm telling you, that's what VYB's about. And what Jay Money, Jonathan Moreno, man, I'm telling you, if you're on his team, man, you guys got a soldier, you got a leader. I mean, I'm not going to yoke up with just anybody. What we're doing is so important. Man, we've linked up with the BGI, International Leadership Group, is a vision God gave me well over 23 years ago when my son was born. I didn't know how it was going to come about. In fact, I almost forgot completely about it until God started showing me this is literally the ecosystem that I'm going to launch, not just radio stations and restaurants and youth groups and community centers, and to be able to bless people in around the globe as entrepreneurs, and to be able to build churches, and instead of homeless shelters, build homeless mansions, and being able to lift up men, women, and children around the world, to be able to empower them to be able to live their dreams. And you know what? This man, Jonathan Moreno, who introduced me, if you guys only understood, you guys need to go back, watch Give Me Freedom. It was the 3rd episode. And I'm telling you, man, we're going to do a second one real soon, man. I'm telling you. And when you get to know this man, Jonathan Moreno, who I've been getting a chance to know over the last couple of months, I'm telling you, man, he's a champion. He's a winner. And I thank God for blessing me to be able to go ahead and yoke up with him. Like they say, iron sharpens iron. And because of that, you guys are about to go ahead and become certified ninjas in business when you link up with this gentleman. So without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm about to literally show you guys something which is going to blow your mind. And the reason it's going to blow your mind is, number one, is because God has created every single one of you. Okay. He created every single one of you with a dream, with a goal, with a vision and talents. And what you got to understand on this earth, man, is that the enemy, he's tried to confuse you. He's tried to brainwash you. He's tried to convince you that all the visions, all the dreams, and everything that the Lord put in you aren't possible. He tried to even convince you it's not real. It's kind of like the Matrix. And what we're about to do is give you two choices of pills. Do you want the red pill or the blue pill? Because guess what? If you want the pill of reality, what we're about to peel back for you like a banana is going to give you something better than potassium, baby. And before we get started, I got to let you know, on this screen, you guys have your disclosures and you have your legal disclaimers. I'm not a lawyer. Okay. Now, if you guys want to talk money, we can talk money, baby. I used to work at Wells Fargo and Conseco Financial. I was the #1 loan officer in the entire Southeast region for Wells Fargo. And then I took my talents, like LeBron took his to South Beach, to ownership. I went to American One Finance. I started the first American One Finance branches in the entire state of Alabama. And so it's one thing I do is know money. I know money. And when I see people with money, I be quiet and I listen. And I've had the pleasure of being mentored by 4 multimillionaires. Megan Lynch is the 4th. And so my question for you today is, what are your dreams? What are your goals? What are your vision? Because the one thing in which you got to understand is the Bible is not joking when it says a man without vision shall perish. If you don't know what you want to do, then guess what? It doesn't matter what you see, man. If I had the winning lotto ticket right now for $80 million and I handed it to you, it would do you no good, because I'm telling you, poverty is a mindset. In fact, if you want me to be crystal clear with you, it is a spirit that you got on you, man. And you got to get that spirit of poverty off of you. Okay, you got to understand that every person who's ever been successful in life, it's been connected to their source. Okay, and you go, HD, what do you mean? I mean, what I tell you. The Bible I read is real simple. It says the blessings of the Lord maketh you rich, and he adds no sorrow to it. You go, well, I know a lot of superstars, and they're actors and they're entertainers, and they're not happy. Well, would you be happy having fool's gold? You know what you mean, HD? I mean, last time I checked, you know, when the dross comes off the gold, it's still gold. But you got to understand, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ said what? He said he has no sorrow to it, the gold he gives you. See, what you have is fool's gold if you're sitting up here trying to make all this money off the world system. You know, the world system is going to have you chasing people. People are nothing more than resources, man. They're going to have you chasing money. They're going to have you chasing people. They're going to have you chasing systems. Hey, I only tell you one thing, man. You need to chase God. Okay. Deuteronomy chapter 28 has some of the best promises in your life. And if you're ready to take it straight, like I can give you straight, then whatever it is you want, whether it's success, whether it's business, whether it's education, whether it's financial freedom, then I'm about to open up that door and show you how you can get it through Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. Because this is a kingdom business you're about to see. So a lot of people say, what's stopping you? You know what? I'm going to tell you what's stopping you. It's the way you think, and it's the people you've been around in your life. What I'm about to do is introduce you to an environment where you have an opportunity to be educated by individuals who make 7, 8, and 9 figures. Okay. I'm talking about business people who I'm able to rub elbows with right now who are making 6, 7, and 8 figures. You know what? They're going to give you, guess what? Support for your ideas. You're going to be able to have access to startup capital for businesses and projects. You're going to be able to have the space you've always needed to be able to create. You're going to be able to have people who are going to mentor you so you are able to have the time to be able to manage to be successful. See, all of a sudden, for the first time in your life, you're going to actually have the knowledge that you need to execute. And that's what this ecosystem is. That's what Vibe's all about. You know, I can sit here and tell you what their vision is, but guess what? I can show you better than I can tell you. And so that's why I want to go ahead and move past this. You know what? It's not going to take a scientist to figure what our mission is. My mission is in Isaiah 61. You understand what I'm saying? If you want to understand my mission, go to Isaiah chapter 61, start in verse 1. Go on and read it through verse 6. It says, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, and he has sent me here to set the captives free, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and financially. That's my mission. And so if that's something in which you can vibe with, well, then guess what? You're talking to the right person. I'm about to introduce you to an ecosystem of freedom, financially, mentally, spiritually, and economically. Okay. Now, you got to understand there's three things in which we're going to go ahead and lay out for you today. Number one, we want to help you discover what's your dream, what's your goal, what's your vision. Because once we're able to help you discover that, now we know what we need to go ahead and develop. And guess what? Just like our creator, we're going to go ahead and take a chisel and we're going to turn you into one of the greatest statues of success you've ever seen in your life. And we're going to go ahead and chisel off the parts that are not going to go ahead and help you to meet your goals and your needs. And in the process of doing that, you're going to be able to come out and look radiant, more radiant than you ever had before. You're going to start attracting successful people to you, because all of a sudden what's going to happen is when you start to go ahead and be mentored by people who are successful mentally, spiritually, emotionally, then all of a sudden, guess what? You're going to start attracting people who are successful mentally, spiritually, and financially. And guess what? Success is attracted to success. Light attracts light. And as we help you develop yourself to that greater purpose, then guess what? We're going to now be able to implement showing people in 160 countries around the world, which means that money's no longer going to be something that you got to worry about. Why? Because we got 7 powerful pathways to change your life forever. Number one, we're going to introduce you to the Vibe Vote. The Vibe Vote is what I call every day, literally at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time, 6:30 Eastern Time. I talk about the number one education, the University of Success. That is Vibe Vote, because we literally have teachers who literally make 7, 8, and 9 figures. We have a gentleman who's literally almost a billionaire today. In Vibe Tribe, you're going to have an opportunity to be part of a community of success-minded individuals from every walk of life, from every different country, race, creed, color, religion, and guess what? And industries. And if there's not someone in that industry, then you might be the one who's going to bring them there. Number 3, we have the Vibe Global. And Vibe Global is a content creators, entrepreneurs, and educators' dream. This is a place in which you're going to have the opportunity to be able to monetize your skill set. What do I mean by that? Your education, what it is, your training, what it is, the gifts that God has put in you. If it's something in which you can share, and guess what? Something that we can help you turn into a digital product so that you're able to make money 24 hours a day, because the internet is never closed, then guess what? You're going to be extremely profitable. Maybe you're just a business owner. You need help with your branding. Well, we got that. On top of that, with Vibe Brandworks, we can help you go ahead and connect, guess what? AI, technology to your website, or even build you an app. Maybe you're someone who's always wanted to get in fashion, or better yet, maybe you have your own podcast or your own business as an entrepreneur, and you just need that merch. You need some baseball caps like I wear, t-shirts, sweats, or sweatpants. Maybe you just need some custom made mugs for your business. We got all that and more in 40,000 square foot space of a warehouse in which we call Vibe Styles. Maybe you're looking to be able to have someone to be able to give you that brand visibility. My mentor, Jerome Majette, he tells me like this: HD, everyone has accessibility online to the internet, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Maybe, you know what, you have a book and you put it on Amazon. Maybe you wanted to go ahead and you wanted to teach a course and you went to Spotify or Udemy or Skill Set, and you go, they already got hundreds of thousands of people already there. But guess what? Through Vibe Spotlight, we could go ahead and spotlight your specialty course, your book, your PowerPoint presentations that you want to be able to teach people what you know. We can put that on Vibe Global, your own value-added course. Maybe you go, HD, I just need money to be able to get my business off the ground. Well, great. Megan Lynch, our CEO, co-founder and owner of this company, guess what? She was just in Chicago 4 weeks ago, and she's about to be in Florida. Why don't you go ahead, get more information about this, get started with us. Let us go ahead and help you, put your business plan together. Make sure that, guess what? It's Trump tight. And I'm not talking about, the president. That's just a word that we use on the street. We call it Trump type. And guess what? You got to understand, if we're able to help you do that, then just like a Dragon's Den or a Shark Tank, then you're going to have the opportunity to be able to go ahead and pitch your business, your product, your service idea to, guess what? 7, 8, and 9-figure venture capitalists coming this September in Florida. So as I move forward, I want to go ahead and I want to talk more about the compensation plan. So I'm going to do a little bit jumping back and forth, because I don't like to just go through this the way you see it right here. I like to make it make sense. We talked about your dreams. We talked about your goals. I mean, I honestly want you guys to start thinking about, if you had all the time and all the money, what would you do? Would you still live where you do? Or would you change your zip code, or would you go ahead and change your postal code? Would you go ahead and get that beautiful mansion on the beach, on the water? Where would it be? On the East Coast or on the West Coast? Maybe you would go ahead and you go, you know what, man, I just want to get off the grid. I just want to get back to nature. I just want to start enjoying life the way God created. I want to build just a 20,000 square foot log cabin, just with like solar panels, everything. And, I'm still going to have all that cool technology, but solar. So I'm off the grid. Hey, wouldn't it be cool to be able to do that? Maybe you want to be able to take your kids to be able to learn history by going to Big Ben in person and spending 3 months in London. Maybe you want to go ahead and allow them to be able to do African studies in Egypt and be able to go ahead and see the Sphinx and the pyramids up close and be there for another 3 months. Maybe you want them to be able to go ahead and study, Asian history and go to China and Japan and Vietnam by actually taking them there. I don't know what your dreams and goals are, but what I do know is we have 2 pathways here to be able to help you accomplish those goals. Number 1, it says customers, but I'll actually call it being a student, because we have the number 1 academy for making money. And you know what we call it? Vibe Vault. And you go, HD, what's in the vault? Well, you know what? I ask people all the time, well, what's in the vault at the bank? And you know what they tell me? That's where they keep all the valuables. I go, well, that's the same thing Vibe does. Vibe keeps all their valuables in the Vibe vault. And you go, well, HD, what's the most valuable thing to Vibe? Education. In fact, education is such a big deal. Under Forex, DeFi, and crypto, as you see right here on this screen, we have some of the top educators. In fact, we have a gentleman by the name of Barnaby. He's almost a billionaire with a B. I'm not stuttering. Okay, you have to understand, he's known about Bitcoin since it was only 20 cents. He spent over 30 years in technology. He's the number 16th trader in the entire world of Ethereum. Not only that, is he was a gentleman who has literally helped oversee e-commerce for the entire country of Australia. Now, outside of that, we also have another gentleman who is pretty high up there when it comes to teaching Forex. And his name is Courtney Logan. Courtney Logan, now he's went and studied across the pond at Oxford University. And not only has he studied at Oxford University, he's only one of 1,400 individuals with a Forex degree, which means he's certified to be able to teach Forex on Wall Street. Now, I don't know about you, but I've never heard of teachers who had that kind of credibility and income to be able to show the classroom at Harvard, Stanford, or Princeton. Now, understand that these Ivy League schools, they have some of the top teachers. I also understand that they have, they have a program at Harvard School of Business where they do bring in entrepreneurs, who are very successful, like a Myron Golden, who makes between $6 to $10 million a year on YouTube. But I also understand those aren't the full-time teachers. What I'm trying to explain to you at Vibe Vault, these are the full-time teachers who are making 8 and 9 figures. Hello? Let me give you another example. Miss Twyla Kidd, who was a student of Courtney Logan, she literally just sold her NFT, just one of her NFT investments, for over $300 million. And she's going to be teaching classes here at Vibe about NFTs. I mean, I don't know about you, but if I wanted to be able to learn real estate investing, I would want to learn from Trayvon. Why? Because Trayvon owns a real estate and mortgage company. And Trayvon's going to be teaching those who want to learn about real estate investing how to be able to turn their real estate investments into Airbnbs, because you can make 3 times the amount of money. Now, I don't know about you, but if I wanted to become a professional basketball player, I would want to be able to talk to Mike Jordan. If I want to become a professional boxer, I'd want to talk to Mike Tyson. If I want to become the king of pop, I would talk to Michael Jackson. See, I don't know about you, but when I grew up, everyone wanted to be like Mike. And depending on what you want to be able to accomplish in life, If it's something that has to do with finances, then you better be in Vibe Bolt, because that's where we have the professionals. And if you're an entrepreneur, you go, HD, that all sounds good, but I'm a professional and I just need to understand how to be able to take my business from making, $500,000 a year to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 million a year. Well, then that's great, because we also have Devin, and Devin is a professional in teaching entrepreneurs how to scale up their business. Okay. Now, I could go on and on and on, and I could talk about how the fact that we have a Jason Wells, who is a Division I basketball coach, former professional athlete, who he's going to be doing motivational speaking. Or I could go ahead and talk to you about the fact that literally, we have sports betting, we have insights available for you, personal growth, birds of feather flock together. I could talk to you about all those things. We have the top AI teacher from Silicon Valley, Anna. We have Faith-Based Academy, Justin Lynch. It's all in there. Okay. Now, the coolest thing you got to understand is when you go into the vault, look at, as you see right here, man, this is how you go into the vault. You log into your back office, bam, you go ahead and you click onto the access the vault, and that's how you're able to go ahead and get to all that teaching. Now, outside of that, you got the CEO, Miss Megan Lynch. You click on the first 48 after you go through the welcome videos here. And guess what? If you go right here, three levels down, you click on this Legend Maker 777 blueprint. She's going to teach you how not only she's made millions of dollars, not only how she's able to go ahead and make $100,000 a month, she's going to show you her system to help you over the next 3 to 6 months how to be making $100,000 a month. Okay. Now, I've never seen a system like that, man. Like I told you, you got AI, you got Forex. They even got everything that you want to be able to learn in multiple languages. Okay. But here's what I got to explain to you. If you are a content creator, an educator, an entrepreneur, then you need to take a look at this Vibe Global, because this is an opportunity for you to go ahead and to monetize your information. When you go your information, I'm talking about your skill set, your knowledge. Jerome Majette, he's the one who literally took a course in which is called attraction marketing. And out of that attraction marketing course, that is the same company that Myron Golden went ahead and took. He paid tens of thousands of dollars to learn that education, in which he's now making $6 to $10 million a month. Jerome Majette's going to be teaching that class because he worked for that company. He's going to be teaching that class here on Vibe for $30. You go for $30. He's going to be teaching the same thing Myron Golden paid $10,000. Absolutely. I told you we're attracting some of the best educators, content creators, and entrepreneurs. If you have a podcast like myself, I got 3. I'm going to be doing similar things here, Vibe Global. I have a book I'm releasing tomorrow called Power Proclamation. I'm going to be teaching the class live on Vibe Global. Power Proclamation. Outside of the fact I'm going to be traveling around the world, having a 3-day event where I'm teaching people, which is going to be kind of like a Holy Ghost revival, because outside of my book, I'm going to have gospel recording artists, rappers sitting up here praising God in between, before and after this event, while I'm teaching you guys how to go from step 1 to done, to how to use the Bible to be successful by following all the principles. And literally, you guys are going to be able to learn all that right here at Vibe. Now, I want to continue going, because birds of a feather flock together. This is the place where you have opportunity to iron sharpens iron. This is a place where you're going to have an opportunity to rub elbows with me and Mr. Jonathan Moreno. And this is also where you're going to be able to rub elbows with likes of a James Udell, who's the #1 gospel and jazz musician in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. You're also going to be able to rub elbows with the likes of a karate instructor by the name of Robert Arnold, who he literally spent the last 18 years in Taiwan learning his craft, and he's going to be teaching on Vibe Global as well. Now, I want to go ahead and continue moving on, because you got to understand, health is important, because health is wealth. And what Vibe did is they went and got some of the top personal trainers to be able to come on here with Vibe, in which they're going to not only give you home workouts, gym workouts, meal plans, but imagine them being able to do mindset training. Because what good is it to get your body in shape and be able to go ahead and eat right and all that if you're still running off a defective program? Because your mind, you got to understand, is the operating system for your body. Your mind is the one who tells your heart how to beat and how much blood to pump. And so the great thing is here, you're going to go ahead and have mindset training here with Vibe Fitness. Okay. So back to where we started, there's 2 ways that you can go ahead and make money. You can take those Forex classes, DeFi, crypto. You can go ahead and run your business and have, Miss Devin help you scale up your business. Like I said, that's all just being a student. But let's talk about being a Vibe partner. A Vibe partner like Vibe Global, having your own value-added course. Let's go ahead and look at this. Okay, these are your memberships. Honestly, I'm only going to tell you about two. If you want to be a student, be a pro member, $160 a month. You know that's a lot less than it is to go to Ivy League. Number two, if you want to go ahead and be an entrepreneur or content creator, okay, or an educator, you want to be able to monetize those value-added courses, then right here, here's your membership for you, $250. And then you want to make sure that you go ahead and click that $10 in which they have that says, hey, I want you to pay me. Now, there's truly actually 6 ways to earn money. I already told you about one, those value-added courses. You can go ahead and take those courses, and then you can go ahead and create your own Vibe Global and to be able to teach those courses. Now, why would I want to do that? Well, this is why. Because imagine we had over 76,000 people sign up between January this year and when we launched in June 11th. Now, guess what? Out of those 76,000 people, do you not think in which you have 1,000 people who might want to be able to take martial arts from Rob? Of course. Well, guess what? If he charges $30, then he's going to get $21 because he's going to get a 70% split of that. Okay. Now, the beauty of that is that's $21 times 1,000 people. That's $21,000 a month. Now, don't you think if he really knows his stuff after 18 years of studying in Taiwan and being in martial arts since he was a youth, you don't think he's going to be able to teach you guys everything you need to know? Well, of course. And what do you think that 1,000 people who sign up for that course? They're going to be raving. So they each tell one person the second month, he's going to go from $21,000 to $42,000. Third month, everyone tells one he's going to be making what? Instead of $42,000, $84,000. Now, this is the beauty. Let me tell you about the second income stream. The person who goes ahead and refers Big Rob, which would be me. Thank you, Lord. I'm going to get half of that 30% that the company kept. So he did 30,000 in revenue, which is $30 for the course. 1,000 people signed up. And then last but not least, what happened? Well, guess what? They're going to keep 9,000. They're going to pay him the 21,000. Half of the 9,000 they're going to give me, which is $4,500. So when he goes from 1,000 students to 2,000, I'm going to go from $4,500 a month to 9,000. When he goes from 2,000 students to 4,000, which is going to give him the $84,000, they're going to take me from 9,000 to 18,000. Now you go, HD, that's pretty good. You referred this one person and now you're making $18,000 a month because he has a course that he has 4,000 people signed up for $30 a month. I go, yep. They go, man, that is pretty productive. Yeah. Now imagine if I had 10 Robs instead of 18,000, that's $180,000 a month. Didn't I tell you this is the number one compensation plan? It gets better. We have direct sales. You can go ahead and sell those websites and those apps. But this is one of the prime parts of this package in which a lot of people love about the compensation plan. It's called the 3x10 matrix. And this 3x10 matrix, literally, in any network marketing company you're in, guess what? You go, the more people you personally invite, that's your profitability. Now, the depth, the people that you help them bring in, that those people bring in, the depth, that's where your longevity is. Now, in this 3x10 matrix, all you need is 3 people, a content creator, educator, and an entrepreneur. So guess what? The educator, he knows 3 educators. Entrepreneur, he knows 3 entrepreneurs. Content creator, come on. If you have one guy who knows a podcast, guess what? I know 3 other people have a podcast. So guess what? It's easier to help those 3 get 3. But guess what? After you've helped them go 10 deep, guess what? There's literally 88,000 spots there. And this is what I'm talking about. There's 88,000 spots. By the time you help those 3 get 3, it goes 10 people deep. Now, the cool thing is you're going to get a $5 check right here for every single one of them. And why is that important? Because we're literally talking about, you're looking at well over $442,000. That's just off of that income. Now, on top of that, they have a fast start bonus. Every person you personally bring in, personally, you're going to get $40. Every person that they personally bring in, you're going to get, guess what? Hello. $20. Now, here's where it gets better. Do you know you're also going to get a 100% match on everything that the person you brought in gets? So he brings in someone, he gets $40, you get $40, but you're also going to get on level 2 another $20 for that same person. Now it gets even better. When this person brings on someone else, you're going to get a 50% match on what they get. So they're going to get $40, you're going to get $20 on that. When you're done looking at the amount of money you're able to make with this compensation plan, there's no stretch of the imagination that you could easily be making millions of dollars. Literally, just you can make over 442,000 just on this 3x10 matrix. But then let's look at the overrides when I told you about Vibe Global. There's never been a compensation plan I've seen like this ever in my life. Okay. And so I'm about to go ahead and end this and say, if you're a number one, you say, HD, I've seen enough information and I'm not interested. Hey, don't worry about it. Make sure you get to school because you're going to go to school anyways. And this is the best class I've ever seen is, guess what? Universe Success, in which we call VYB-ing. Number two, if you're someone who goes, you know what, HD, I just have a few more questions, get with the person who gave you this video. If you're a number three and say, HD, this is the best thing I ever seen, well, get back with the person who showed you this and get started today because there's no reason to wait. Let's launch your business today.